Welcome to 45 on the Hour podcast. I'm your host, Colt 45, and I'm with Professor Eric Medina.
What's up, everybody? What's up, Colt? Good morning.
What's up, brother?
Colt was here early in the morning in the office. He had a meeting. What time did that meeting start?
Dude, it was early, man. It was like 7:30, I think.
7:30 the meeting started?
Yeah.
What time were you up?
I was up at 6:30.
Dang. Did you have to get the house ready too, or you're right out the door?
Dude, so typically, I stay up pretty late, because I have kids and teenage kids tend to bother me a lot in the evening. a lot more than, I guess we want. But, it takes me a while to kind of get into my mode to relax and stuff like that. So I try to get to bed at a decent hour around, midnight, 1 o'clock, which for me is pretty early. Usually I'm in bed by 1:30, sometimes 2.
Okay.
Because I do most of my work at night.
I got you.
Right?
This is your time when everybody's asleep or the house is quiet to do your own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a lot of people say I get up early to do all my, quiet stuff and I get all my stuff done. Well, I do it at night. Complete reverse.
Doing that at night works out well for me too.
You know why? And I don't understand why, but it just seems to be a thing. I like doing it at night. It's around the time where I can fluctuate time between my kids. I could spend time with them. And then later in the evening, things kind of quiet down a little bit and I'm more relaxed. I feel like that's my relaxed state. Mm-hmm. And I know that's a common thing about amongst a lot of people, where they talk about, morning versus evening and what's better. Is it better to be available more in the morning, get up early, or at night? And I've always stuck with the thing that it works better for me at night. Okay. It doesn't always work better for everybody to get up at, 2:45 like Wes Watson or something like that. You know what I mean?
Hearing you speak right now, it reminds me there was a time in my life where I worked graveyard shift, and that would be 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. And so when you work at night, you sleep during the day. So you get your work done. And I remember just a golden time, like 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. I could do mountains of work. Everything's quiet. There's nobody around, and I could just knock out all sorts of stuff. But going back to a traditional life where you sleep at night and stuff like that, you don't really have those quiet hours. You got to make them. You got to find them, whether it's early in the morning or late at night, but I definitely find myself doing my best work when I could get into my little flow without anybody interrupting me, but I also don't like to be alone too. Right. So I feel better when people are around too, but.
Oh, me neither. I can't eat alone at all. I can't eat alone. I mean, I have to have people in my house, I personally like people around.
I get that, dude. And I don't know for me if it's a little thing of I want somebody around for reassurance. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what are you up to? Or just footsteps or somebody else doing something,
Right.
I don't know if that means I have ADHD or I just don't want to do the work I'm supposed to be doing so much that I'm so distracted. But that's a funny little thing. You need to know yourself and how to get in front of your little habits to get your work done.
But why is that important?
It's important if you want to move the ball forward. It's important if you want to
take charge,
take steps. Mm-hmm.
Leadership roles, masculinity.
A man leads.
Which is leading us into our next subject, right? Mm-hmm. So we came into this podcast, and this is a self-help podcast, guys, as we've, generated over, the weeks that we've done it. That's our angle here. But I think self-help has to do with relationships also. And I think it also has to do with figuring out your roles with your partners, right? So masculine males versus feminine males. And masculine women versus feminine women, and where people tend to want to be at, right? And I think a majority of people figure out that or feel that they want the roles that they're generally born with, right? Seeing on TV and families and things like that. So women want to be feminine in nature, and men want to be masculine in nature, right? Mm-hmm. But things have been pissing me off lately, bro. just talking to people, friends that I associate with, people that are questioning me, you know, because I do the podcast thing and I do this Instagram thing. And what I do throughout my day, I record the whole day. I put it out there.
You're always
for the
on your
world to
story.
see.
It's like,
Right.
it's not every hour, but it does tell the story of your day.
For the most part.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I'm pretty raw with it. I'm pretty open about my life. And it's genuine. For me to record, to put it out there is to help, for one. And number two, it keeps me in check. Men these days, I mean, just quite frankly, are just a bunch of pussies. they're just feminine. They expect things to be done for them. They expect women to play the man roles. I could never. It to an extent, it bothers me for women to pay for things. Like, I know some women like to, but I like to be the male. Okay, I like to take charge, pay for things.
In my life,
take the male common role, right?
Mm-hmm.
Protector, you know, provider, things like that. Leader of the family, right?
You said like pay for things, like, and going back, like in my life, I've been in situations where like I don't have money to pay for stuff. How does that make me feel? Less of a man.
Correct.
You know, it feels wrong.
I love that.
Why do you want to spend time with me, but I cannot afford you? There's something up with that, you know? Now, don't get me wrong. You need a partner who is there with you to help you with your shortcomings. And that includes financial, but that's not the way it should be. You know, you should always want to be the one taking care of. That is the job of the man. You're the provider.
Well, men these days want women. They all talk, and I see this, you know, just how I talk to other guys, you know, like, oh, why can't I find a partner? Why can't I find a partner that does this for me or does that for me? Well, first of all, whatever you're looking for, you need to pursue on your own by becoming that person. You need to, if you want someone that's loving, be loving. If you want someone that's strong, be strong. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
But if you're asking for women to take the role of a man, they don't want to do that. Women don't want to take the role of a male, but they are now.
It's almost counterintuitive to them.
They
right?
are.
They have to.
It isn't.
There
it
is a missing
right?
position for them.
Women want to be submissive. They want to be submissive to a male. They want a male to be dominant in their own nature.
They want the man to lead.
But they can't because men these days are just not equipped with the same drive, the leadership roles, the hope, the want. It's failed, you know, maybe because of the economy or the, you know, whatever it is that's going on in the world.
There's a lot of stuff, man.
But there's a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that you can't have feelings, but what I'm saying is that there comes a time when males need to take over again. And I think that time is now. And I guess the reason for the podcast and the direction of this is that I guess I'm just tired of hearing about it. I'm tired of hearing about it from both roles, male, female. Both roles are saying the exact same thing. Men want women to do things. Women want men to do things, but they're both doing the opposite. Men are being feminine, women are being masculine.
Colt, in your house, you are the only male?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you hear it all.
Oh, yeah.
But you have to lead. Like there is no.
You have to. And in the Bible, the man basically runs a lot of the show.
This is true. Like this,
and the male has to be the dominant figure because the kids, the family, everybody will follow. There was a study that came out a few years ago. I read it online, and it said that if the male leads the family, 90% of the time, the family will follow. If the woman, the mother or whatever, leads the family, 40% of the time, the family will follow. If the children lead the family, less than 10% of the time, the family will follow. So if those statistics don't matter to you and don't say something about how powerful the man has on the family dynamic, then I don't know what does. But I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to help out the male specimen, okay, in my eyes. I'm trying to help them because I feel like there's a lot of people that drive off of confidence. And I feel like if you have the level of confidence, and there's other guys out there that are just as confident and can say just as much stuff as I do, just like you. You know, you're a leader. You're a confident male. But there's not enough of us to go around. Our voice doesn't speak loud enough yet because to get to a point of change, you have to be able to listen first. You have to be able to hear me when I say something. And I'm not talking about listening like turning up the volume. I'm talking about listening like, do you actually hear what I'm saying and are you applying it?
Understanding the lesson or the knowledge and wisdom that you're trying to impart to somebody.
Exactly.
Sometimes that's hard. And sometimes it needs to be delivered over and over again, for it to sink in. And I know as me as a young man, there were some people that I would listen to in a heartbeat, and there were some people that I wouldn't listen to based upon how I viewed them as a man. I know we were both in the military, like whatever the gunny says is law, like that's it. Whatever that NCO above you said was law. You wanted to be like them. You trusted them. And they were the embodiment of what a man is. Sometimes we have like maybe elected officials and like there are leaders, but these are not men either. So it's like a weird position sometimes. We are in the workplace too. And
men look up to men.
Men look up to men for sure.
And men, and for me, it's very difficult for me to look up to another man. I could literally count on my fingers, maybe 2 people that I would kind of like look at as like, okay, I would listen to that person. Okay, now I have mentors. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit different. That's more people that like I'm trying to learn from to get to where I want to be. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm looking up to them as a man.
But you could take certain aspects of them, right?
Correct. And that's what I do. I've always learned to take things that I like from other people. The only guys I truly look up to right now that I could actually say.
All right, let's go. You want to do like a top 3 of who you look up to? And I'll think of my top 3.
It's actually only 2.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Well, actually 3. So family would be my Uncle Joe. 100%. My Uncle Joe has always been the idol. I went in the Marine Corps because of him. I wanted to be a dad because of him. We both have 3 daughters.
Right on.
And he was a Marine Corps first sergeant.
Oh, dang.
And yeah, he's like my dad.
Cool.
That never was. And we're so similar in a lot of ways. And he raised 3 beautiful daughters. And they have 3 marriages that are successful. He's just the epitome. He's a man's man.
That's cool.
Family man. Then there's Colt 2.0, which is like dad Colt, to all the men out there that need the empathy and the understanding. And that's the Ed Milet. So Ed Milet is the man that I look at for that aspect, the empathetic Colt, the understanding Colt. And then there's the Marine Corps former gangster, motorcycle rider, street cred. I won't take your shit. I'll kick your ass, Colt. And that's the Wes Watson side, right?
I got you. Uh-huh.
So I turn to him as far as mindset. And all these men believe in the Lord. Okay, they're all godly men, but in their own way. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And they've never lost their touch of their history and the things that changed their life and made them the men that they are today, right? Which obviously I've had a lot of change, right? And a lot of growth.
A lot of reflection, a lot of time to...
Correct.
How did I get here?
Correct. And the thing that I emulate the same and relate with, because that's what we try to do as men and women, is relate to people, right? Relation creates emotion. So if I can relate to you, I emotionally connect with you, and I won't forget about that person. If I connect with you emotionally, it's hard for me to forget about you or not want to hear you or do something better for you, right? The connection that I've had with each of those individuals is they've all had a past that came from trauma, some level of trauma. They all started from the bottom. They all had nothing. No one had ever adhered to any of their adversaries. No one ever helped them. Not Ed Milet, not Wes Watson, not my Uncle Joe. They all did it on their own. And because of that, they generated the male specimen that I emulate today, right? Because I've taken pieces from each of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not directly like eat in any individual one of them. I don't like mimic them. I have pieces that I correlate with and that emotionally connect me to each of them. The reason why I'm saying that is because I think as men, to get to the point to where you find a woman that you want, you have to become the man that the woman is going to desire. Okay? So if there's a woman that you want, that you're seeking, You have to find that person through what you're giving off. Does that make sense?
Yeah. If you want to attract a high value woman, you have to be a high value man.
There you go. Don't be trying to say out here, friends of mine that are going to the bar every day, and you know who you are because I know you're listening. I love you. I keep telling you. If you're that guy that's sitting at the bar and you're wondering why you keep attracting women that have certain qualities and you don't like it, they got nothing going on for themselves, they're living at home, they're doing this. It's because you're putting yourself in those environments. You're not taking the role of, okay, I have a business to support. I have a job to go to in the morning. I have kids to support.
I got to be physically fit.
Why is that important as a male? Physical fitness.
Because you don't want, so many reasons. Your confidence, your ability to protect.
Why is it confident to be physically fit? Why does that generate confidence?
It is like a reflection of masculinity.
It's a reflection of who you are.
Mm-hmm. It's
your body.
It's your business card.
If your body looks strong and you look like you put effort into it and energy into yourself, how is that going to be perceived by somebody else looking at you? Well, they're going to say, okay, well, if he has energy to put it into his self, right? His body to change it, to make himself more healthy, then his energy back to me should be of like a higher caliber, right? Like he should have like a higher caliber of energy that he could give to me, that he could, you know what I'm saying? He has more respect for himself. He has respect for his body. Not to mention that's something that God gave you, right? God gave you a body, a temple. And that's why I always get upset when I see people trashing it, when I see them trashing it. And I'm not saying that you have to be like completely fit, right? I'm not saying that you got to be like having a six pack or, like whatever. I'm just saying that you got to have like some sort of pride in yourself, mm-hmm. right? Whether that be just going on a walk every day, going on a run, trying your hardest, just try to take care of yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Of course, dude.
Because trying generates confidence.
Mm-hmm.
If you diet and you're on a regiment plan and you're respecting your diet because you want to feel better, because what you put into your body feeds your soul. It feeds your mind. All those things generate thoughts. Those thoughts will turn into action and they will lead to things like temptation or not. So if you're feeling depressed, you're going to lead into temptation for the bad vices, right?
For your bad habits, yeah.
Correct. So vices, what is it? Desires lead to vices, right? So if you have a desire for something, it turns into things that just aren't good. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. In your life. And that shouldn't be in your life. So if you're taking care of the temple and you're feeding the temple and your mind thinks clearly, right? And your body looks good. Now you're confident, right? You're a confident male. Now you can put out the vibe that you deserve more. And you're going to attract a woman that's been sitting back to look at that. She's been looking at a man that can take charge. Now, instead of her being so masculine and you can't find that quality person because you can't see her yet, you're above the masculinity now. So now she can tone it down a notch and she can be more submissive because you're the leader. You're a man that's like, oh, okay, the woman's going to be like, well, this is my dude right here. This is the man I need to be around. Mm-hmm. Because I could be submissive now because he protects me. He's my protector. But to get there, the male has to understand the roles and the steps that he needs to take to get there, to find that woman, to attract that woman, right? So at the end of it, I just want to say to all the dudes out there, like, I'm tired of hearing that there is no women out there. It's not that. There's plenty of women out there. Plenty. You're just not the man that they're attracted to yet. Mm-hmm. But you could be, right? You could be if you worked on yourself. If you didn't, what was that thing that I was saying about repelling? To pursue is to repel. If you're a man,
if you want to attract, like take a step back, let it come to you.
Basically, if you wait, mm-hmm. Pursuing never works. It's like a sales thing. Yeah, if you're constantly bugging people,
you're chasing them, they're running.
Yeah. A real like masculine male shouldn't have to chase for a million reasons other than he shouldn't have enough time. Mm-hmm. Right? If he's pursuing his role as a leader, his time should be focused on creating a life that could take care of his whole family.
The girlfriend I have, she said she had a crush on me about 6 months before we were a thing.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
What was her name for the record?
She's around, but but like that was a thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a chase. It was there. It was present, and the feelings grew. And over time, it became something more. I was.
It was natural.
It was natural, right? But like you said, it wasn't a chase. It was me being myself and being in a position where I was confident. I was doing what I needed to do every day, and my growth was exponential. And now I have a partner that helps me with that, is compatible, but we are in our assigned roles. I am the male, I lead, and she's a female and she follows. And it works great for us, and it's a source of like, it's like another power, because, as a man, like, where do you go to rest? I go to my woman.
Correct.
And, and she nurtures, she like provides, and it's like a safe place. But if the roles are reversed, like, that masculine woman is not going to like take care of you in the way that like you want to be taken care of. It's going to be, the language is going to be sharp. She's going to have a temper with you. You're going to have to jump through so many more hoops to get close to her. And I think that's like a situation where like the relationship is in trouble for sure. I would think. I wouldn't want that kind of relationship,
So I want to touch on something that's real personal to me. This is me opening up. This is a Colt 5.0 right here.
Uh-oh.
So my mom, obviously my dad, is a transgender.
Mm-hmm.
He left when I was 5 to pursue his goal of becoming a woman. Okay. My mom was a feminine female, at home, cooking, taking care of the kids, everything motherly, beautiful, gorgeous, just hair out, I look just like my mom, by the way, and she is more beautiful than I am. My mom now is somewhat of a lost soul in my eyes. My dad buried that woman. My mom tried to love again, met another man. He became gay. She didn't know it. After that, my mom completely changed. Hair up in a bun, hardcore, masculine, almost like the most masculine woman. Like, she's so masculine to the point where it's just controlling. And I love my mom to death. My mom has given me everything. But if you don't change who you are today, and you don't try to find that anchor of a partner by giving off, I want to say, like, the pheromones or the feelings out there that you are this person because you've made and taken the steps, you will become her as a female, right? If you're not trying to find that masculine male and you're not trying to be a masculine woman, which women don't want to be, but there is men out there, right? We're working on it. We work on it with this podcast. There's a ton of people working on it, but I just want the women to know that this isn't an end game. This is just a partial, dip in the spectrum. Mm-hmm. Men are evolving. There's a lot of help out there to change and help men become more confident again. Men have kind of lost their way through a lot of things. And I just want the women to know that there is an outlook that is greater than it is today. Don't lose hope in the males, okay?
It also takes some time for a man to mature and to get to that position.
Correct.
The world is rough for a guy, for a young man. And you got to take a bunch of L's over and over and over again to decide.
But L's are a part of winning.
For sure. Once you flip that switch, though, because there's a point where like the L's are too much and you can't do anything and you just want it to be easy, but the obstacle is the path. Once you realize that, we talk about failing forward, right? Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to make mistakes, but every mistake I make is my lesson. Every no I get is one step closer to getting that yes. And you're on your path to becoming that higher value man, whatever that looks like for you. Colt 2.0, Colt 5.0, all these people that this person you want to be, like, you've done stuff in your day to be that person. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
We're on that path.
Let's run that. Because you were talking about that earlier. And, getting off of, like trying to make the women more confident. Now let's look at the males, okay? Let's try to make them more confident, right? Because I was touching on the subject for the females. For the males, in my eyes, okay? If you want to attract that woman, that person, right? And you're just sitting here and you're like, well, I'm looking out there and I'm not. Okay, first of all, look at the places that you're going, okay? What are you doing daily? What are your tasks throughout the day? What are you doing? Like, what's your schedule look like? Are you getting up at a decent time, right? Are you excited? I woke up this morning excited, bro. I couldn't go to sleep last night because I was so excited about my day. I've never in my life, up until maybe a year ago, felt the way that I feel today. I am excited about my day. I'm excited about the things that I'm accomplishing, that I have to go do. And I'm not out of the woodworks. Some people would probably jump into my life and be like, oh my God, bro, how am I going to get out of this? What am I going to do? You have so much going on, brother. You got a lot going on. And how are you going to do this? Mm-hmm. And the answer is I always do it. I always figure it out. But I'm so excited about it because I have so many more opportunities. And the more that I do these tasks, the more that I add on to my plate, the more that I kind of confine my timeline to where it's literally like touching paper, right? I went from getting up in the morning to doing Instagram work, to doing posting work, to doing 2 phone calls, to going into a 3-hour meeting about structuring our service master, about this and that, and then back into some insurance work, a quick bite to eat. You saw me.
Yeah.
I mean, so fast, to jumping into this podcast, to after this going to jujitsu, to after this. And it's like back to back. Right. And it's not over. Just because my day's over, there's still my kids. There's still the home life. There's still paying bills. Like, then there's still my learning progress where I have to read. And then I have to educate myself. I have this whole goal where I educate myself on 10 things a week that have to do with intellectual intelligence, right? And emotional intelligence. Mm-hmm. And that's something that I do every week. And right now I'm doing a lot of study on Epictetus, if you've been familiar with him.
Sorry, I'm not. Educate me.
So he's like one of the ancient philosophers back in I think it was 59 AE or whatever they call it. He's just an old, he's like a Stoic.
Okay, cool.
He talks about, there's a book called The Art of Living, which you guys should pick up. Every male should pick this book up because every single word in this book has meaning, and every single word in this book will hit you so hard home. And anyone that I've learned from today to get to where I'm at today mentally talks about Epictetus. And they talk about how powerful he was, just like a Marcus Aurelius.
Okay.
And just like, Genghis Khan, and there's a few other people that were like
warrior kings.
And there's difference between warrior kings and people that talk about emotional intelligence and how important it is to be emotionally intelligent as a male so that you can use it as a confidence factor. You don't really ever have to throw a fist in your life if you're extremely confident and emotionally intelligent. Most people are afraid of just that part of a male. No matter what you look like, no matter how big you are, how small you are, it doesn't matter. Most people bow down to confidence, right? And the understanding of how emotions work and how the human brain works, how people cycle through things, right? Everyone's about connection. Human beings are about connection. So getting into that, as a male, you have to have tasks, and you have to know your tasks, and you have to have the action plan to accomplish those tasks, and then the future goal. The reason for that is so that you have something to look forward to, okay? A lot of males these days don't have anything to look forward to. They're all struggling financially. They don't know where to live. Rent's too high. They can't afford shit. They got past issues with problems with maybe a baby mama or a former spouse, or they're trying to find a woman that just, wants more with them.
Those are a lot of L's that, men do deal with, right?
Cool. But how do you turn an L into a W?
You got to look at it from a different perspective. You got to learn from it. You got to not repeat the mistakes that got you there. So many different ways, right?
Right. So I have an answer to that. The object, the way you focus off of the L's is to not try to control things that you have no control over. Right. So if there's stuff that, happened in your past, I did a post on it a few days ago, and it was basically pay for your mistakes. The devil doesn't pay checks, or the devil doesn't take checks. Okay. He doesn't. He takes everything payment in full. Okay. So what I mean by that is if you do something wrong and you've had these mistakes that you've created over life, which a lot of men have trouble overcoming. They're like, man, I made these fucking mistakes and I did this wrong thing. And I screwed this person over, whatever. Cool. Get over it, pay for it, and then move on and make sure it doesn't happen again. So simple, right? But a lot of people drag it on. They just keep dragging it on. Oh, I don't need to pay for the mistake. I'll just kind of let it ferment and roll out. And it just never lets go. And it just kind of drags through their life. And they never develop from it. You know what I'm saying? So the devil doesn't pay, he doesn't take checks. So you got to pay for that shit in full. You got to do it right now. You got to make sure you go to the people that you made the mistakes from or with, and you got to make it right. Make those mistakes right. And then if that costs money, time, sweat, blood, whatever it takes, you got to give it up. Okay. And once you do that, you can reset and you can know that your conscience is clear because this thing is always listening, bro. It's always listening. Your conscience is always waiting right there for you. And it's always saying, hey man, you're fucking up, dude. You're doing the wrong thing. You know what you're doing. Okay. And I see you. And the conscience we've talked about is who? That's the higher power. That's your God. That's your energy wave, whatever you believe in. That's what that is. And if you're not paying attention to it and you're not trying to be your true authentic self 100% with what you are, like what I'm saying right now on this podcast is my authentic self. There's no sugar coating. There's no, cherry on top. This is just what it is. Raw and to the point. And I feel the most confident talking and producing speech by saying what comes out easy for me. And easy is confidence, which is generated from your true authentic self. So men these days need to do what they feel they need to do, right? Stop pussyfooting around it. If you want to be a strong masculine male and you have things to do, you don't like your body, then change it. Go to the gym. Message me. I'll get you on a fitness program. I'll help you with whatever I can. Okay. Learn from a proven mentor. Learn from the people to get to where you want to be that have already proven and shown it before. For you, you're a badass professor in jiu-jitsu. So who would you learn from? You're a black belt. You're a 3rd degree black belt, right?
First degree.
First degree. Okay. Mm-hmm. Who would you learn from? Maybe Jean-Jacques or something, right?
That's like the default answer for all things jiu-jitsu. Yeah.
Right. So like he's a badass.
Yeah.
So, but he would be the guy you'd mentor with, right? You'd be like, okay, I'd listen to him, right?
Yes.
Right. You wouldn't listen to me because I'm not a black belt.
I would be open, but it wouldn't be like
it's striking.
It wouldn't be like the gospel, like from John. If he said, "Oh, you do it," you just do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, and obviously, like I don't have as much experience.
Yeah,
I'm just a blue belt, and I'm under you.
Yeah, but you would hear. But maybe you got an idea, man, because things evolve. You know what I'm saying? And like, there's a lot of stuff that like you've taken it this far in this direction. You have knowledge, right? You know some stuff. So I wouldn't, but I know what you're saying. It's just like you would go to the subject matter expert.
Correct.
Right? I don't want to talk to the guy at the front desk. Take me to the boss. That's where we're at.
So I think what you're saying, Professor, is that men need to take advice from the men they want to emulate the most. The trades they want to emulate the most, the jobs, the whatever it is that your dream is. Everyone has a dream.
Mm-hmm.
Every man out there wants to be better. I think that's a fact.
For sure.
No man is sitting there on his couch, with lint in his belly button, like sitting there with Cheetos all over him, playing video games saying, man, I wish I had better. Or I wish I didn't have better. No one, it just doesn't, I don't think that's a thing. I think that every man thinks that, well, I want to do it, but it's going to take a lot of effort, right? It's the energy, right? But how are you going to feel or generate worth if you don't do the work? You can't. So my tip for you guys is if you're listening to this and this is striking you as a male and you're like, you know what? He's right. I need to get off my ass. I need to change my shit. Or if you're just not doing enough. And if you're not doing enough, you're going to work and running home to just go sit on the couch, skipping the gym, like whatever it takes to get you to where you need to be. And you're skipping it and you're just letting your life roll by. There's always time.
Mm-hmm.
And when you hit that rock bottom, that change where you're about to jump into that big dark hole that I've talked about, and you hit that level where you're about to jump in because that feels safer than standing on the solid ground where you're at, then you'll listen to this podcast and you'll take something from it. Task through the day, create your tasks, create as many tasks as you can. A task
create as many?
as many as you
Dude,
can.
I try to make my list tiny.
I'm starting to get up earlier, bro, because I can't even, I'm getting so fulfilled in my life that I literally am sacrificing sleep now because I want more tasks.
But you speak with vitality. You still speak with energy. You know, you'll like,
the energy comes from the pride.
Mm-hmm.
The pride is the energy. Like I'm so prideful of the person that I'm becoming that I want more. Like my body, it's getting harder. It's chiseling more. Like I'm accomplishing small weight goals.
That's cool.
Gradually.
Like I can see you're carving out the ideal person you want to be, right?
Correct.
With millions of dollars at your feet too.
Not necessarily the person that I want to be. It's the person that I can be, right? Because everyone wants, I would say that 99.9% of people want in their eyes whatever a perfect body looks like to them, whatever they see on TV. They want that body. Everyone wants the guy driving the Lambo, the Ferrari, a boat, whatever it is that they think, financial freedom is, living on a yacht or whatever, like buying a mansion. People want that. People also want to be the most confident person where they walk into a door and they attract every female that walks in or every man that walks in or whatever. It's vice versa for both sexes. People want all that, right? They want those three things. But what they can't do and what they struggle with the most is producing the actions it takes to get those things. They can't provide the action. It's like a disconnect. It's like they go, oh, well, that sounds great, but I'll wait till tomorrow. Oh, that sounds great, but I just want to eat these Cheetos. Oh, that sounds great, but I'll just wait to make more money and pursue the mentor because it just seems like effort. And it's just this whole like bogging down. It's like the energy. But the thing is, guys, and what I can assure you is that the energy gets easier to grasp and to get when you have the will to do it. When you find out, as I've talked about, you got your how. Like people always say, well, how am I going to do it? How am I going to get there? How, right? It's not about how, right? It's about what?
Taking the first step, doing it, trying.
It's about who? Who's going to do it? Who's the person that's generating that fire for you? Who is it? Who are the people inside of you? Who are the people that you're doing it for? Why are you doing it? What's the purpose of generating extra energy? What is the purpose of making a better self? What is the purpose of financial freedom? What is the purpose of all these things? You have to have an actual goal line, right? Purpose of financial freedom is to have time, in my eyes, to have vacation time with my daughters, to have spent time alone, to have peace of mind, to not worry about bills, right? To be able to give away and be reluctant with just giving away money, And then there's the physical part because I want to feel confident in my own body. I want to walk out of the gym swole as hell and I want to look good and I want to go to the beach, take off my shirt, bro. And I want like people to be like, dang, dude, that dude freaking puts in some work, man. That's confidence. The way people talk to you, it feels good. It fills you up. It makes you feel great, and then there's the mental part, confidence, confidence is contagious, right? If you're confident, people are going to want to be around you because they want whatever you have. Human beings are naturally attracted to like a pheromone of another human being, whether that be a male to a male, female to female, male to female, female to male, whatever. They're attracted to what is confident. Right? Confidence is key. You don't have to have the best looks. You don't have to have the perfect body. You don't have to have the most money. But if you have confidence, it drives all the rest. Mm-hmm. So how do you generate confidence? We go back to tasks. Tasks. Getting your ass up in the morning. Fighting the first fight, which is getting up out of bed anxious. Ready to go, right? You have to have some level of anxiousness. Then it's going to the gym or doing something that provides some sort of blood flow energy to fucking articulate the lows and the high frequencies, right? Getting that because I wake up in a negative state every morning.
Okay.
FYI.
That's a default setting.
Negative.
Got you.
Right? Where it's like a low setting, right? Mm-hmm. And as soon as I feel that setting, get down, push. Oh, you're not happy? I tell myself this. I talk to my internal self and I say, Colt, you're not thankful? Cool, bro. Get your ass down and do push-ups. Mm-hmm. I'm actually getting haze yourself tattooed on my knees here, right above it. So push. Look down, push. Haze yourself. Uh-huh. That was a Marine Corps thing, by the way, guys, if you're not following. Yeah, so the Marine Corps is all about you being grateful for your current moment in time and what you have. You know, it was like they'd say, "Oh, you're not happy with the little scrap of food we gave? Cool, we're gonna take it all from you, and here's a whole freaking pot of sand. Good luck." Right? And so it's all about taking away from. So you'd end up being like, "Oh no, thank you for that," and you end up becoming grateful for the small things that you have, right? And if you don't feel grateful in the moment, the only way to fix that is to get the frequency higher. So you have to, and I go towards blood flow things. Now, there's other ways of doing it, like with meditation, that can help. Personally, for me, that doesn't help. Okay, I have my own way of meditating, and that's reading. Okay, what helps me is burpees. Burpees. Whenever you see me online burping, okay, I have a low frequency. My frequency is diving. It's taking a little dive. I'm having a little bit of negativity going through my mind, and guess what? I'm going to offset that with some burpees.
Boom, you take it and
Boom.
you shoot it right back
I'll
up.
do it right now, bro, in front of you on this podcast. If I feel that negative shit, okay, because that's the human brain, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The human brain, ladies and gentlemen, is designed to go towards the negative state.
Right.
Naturally.
So this is like a good habit to, you feel it come in or you're stuck there, like, let me just change my energy, change my physical situation. And I come right back up. And that changes your mindset as well. It affects you. I understand it affects you physically. You got to pump on your blood flow, your breathing, but like it also fixes your mind.
100%.
Ooh.
Your brain obviously works off of blood, just like the rest of your body. The more oxygen and blood you get to your brain, the more awake your brain is. Okay, think of your brain as like sunk into your head almost, like a smaller grape. When you expand the blood flow, the brain expands. It expands and it contracts, just like your heart does, just like your lungs do, just like your veins do in your arm, you know? That's what happens. Blood flow generates energy, like a level of energy, and it generates more oxygenation. Oxygenation is what you need when you're in those low frequency states. That's like it's like when you're dehydrated because you haven't drank enough water.
Yeah, your brain shrinks up.
Correct. And you start feeling like lethargic and tired.
Get headaches.
Why are you tired? Why do you have a headache?
You're dehydrated.
Typically, headaches are generated from low low intake. Okay, most of the time. Okay, unless you have repetitive migraines, but that's a whole nother thing. Typically, it's from low water intake, low salt intake. You're not retaining enough water. Your body's craving it. That's why you're sore sometimes, or people get hurt when they don't have enough water in their body. Okay, hurt is low water. Low water is low oxygen. Low oxygen is low blood flow. Low blood flow is lethargic. All those things have to do with frequency states. And if you understand that, then you can understand when you feel low. Low is normal. It is a normal thing. It happens. Everyone goes low. Everyone goes high. The lows are good. They're a good thing. They're not a bad thing. They're there to generate an idea of pushing. They're supposed to be there for our human nature to evolve and to say, okay, we're in a low frequency. We need to get up. We need to work harder. We need to fight. Okay. That's what it's almost similar to like a fight or flight response when you have anxiety, right? But it's used for a benefit. It's our bodies are designed for that. But when you have that low frequency, the way that you feel confident is to first of all, not think about it, like cut it off in your brain. I almost like build a wall in my brain. I build a wall with like mud. I have this vision of bricks, and I build up a wall with concrete.
Cool.
And I build it in front of the word low, or, whatever that image of distress is.
Okay.
Okay. And I do that in my brain. And then after I do that, I go, okay, cool. And then I turn around and I look towards like an image of like a stairway up with clouds, almost like
heaven.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or something like, just like heaven or clouds. I think of that.
Yeah.
And then and I focus on that. I focus on it. I focus on it. And then when I first started doing this, it was really hard to get the negative thoughts. I was thinking, it was like this demonic presence. So that's what low frequency is, just a demonic presence. And then a high frequency is like more of like a godly presence, right? And you have to understand the difference. Low frequency is things that are vices, desires of vices that turn into negative engagement, things that just aren't good for you, right? They're meant to be there to motivate you, but in this day and age, it's more common than not. So tasks lead to action. Action leads to pride, leads to confidence. Confidence leads to change. Change leads to the goals that you want to accomplish. The goals you need to accomplish end up being the person that you're admiring. And then over time, that would become the person that you most admire. And that person that you most admire ultimately is the person that you're chasing to become before you die, that you're supposed to meet at the white pearly gates maybe someday. And if you meet that person and you caught him, then you can just give him a high five and say, I caught you, man. I knew I could become this person.
In the process of becoming that person, you will attract an equal value partner.
Yeah.
You'll attract somebody that's going to boost you up.
That's the goal, right? But you also have to be open for that at the time too. I think that relationships that turn out to be the best relationships are the relationships that you're not looking for it.
I was going to say that too, Colt.
I know it's kind of cheesy because people say that.
But I believe I'm in one of those, and I feel so good about it.
Yeah.
You know, so like what is that? Like there are no coincidences. It's God's timing. Like, you know, here we are talking about it. And like on my end, like I did go through it, and I'm so thankful for it. It's been a blessing to have somebody like that is your perfect partner, your ideal partner. Like it has made a huge difference in my life, you know, and it is one of the reasons why I work so hard now, because I do want to provide for her.
I love that about you, man. I like that you're happy.
Yeah, I do. But and as my student in this school, like, you know, when I'm happy,
yep,
the energy is my energy, you know, like boom, like, and it's hard to bring down or be or get in the mind of somebody that's happy. You know what I'm saying? You actively have to try to get in there and mess with them. Like, get out of here. You can't change my peace at home. You know, it's a good feeling. And the opposite is true. Hey, when things are bad, like, oh, everything is bad. You know, I am human. You can't beat me.
100%. We're all human, right? We all have to find that change in a relationship that feels good. Okay. Two types of changes, right? There's the change that you're doing and you don't like it. Okay. The relationship change. If you're in a relationship and you're changing and it feels awkward, like someone's telling you, you have to do this, you have to do that, blah, blah, blah. You ever been in a relationship like that?
Yes.
It sucks. Then there's the relationship that you're like in it and you're changing. Your persona's changing. You're doing things with them, and it's just like you're just excited about it. And you love the change that you're changing, and you're changing your whole persona. It's just changing. You're becoming a better person, supportive. You know, you're looking up to your partner, right? That's where the level of respect comes into play. And when you have that level of respect, that's when two parties, and this is in closing for a podcast, become in their natural state. Okay, if that's male and female, the male becomes dominant. He becomes masculine because he has the support of the woman that's staying in her feminine state, which ultimately that's where the woman wants to be. That dynamic naturally occurs when you have the perfect process that both parties can build themselves up to the individuals that they most admire, that they want to be, right? And then both parties sense that respect amongst each other. Both male and female. Both male and female sense those parties have respect for themselves, that they want to be better, that they're worth more, brings them both together closer. And once they're together closer, the respect is there, the building each other up is there, the change is positive, and then the goals align and are the same. They have the same outcome in life that they both desire.
It is.
Plus or minus a few.
It is so important to work towards the same direction.
Correct.
Right? You gotta
that's a relationship goal, right? Is to know that in the beginning, like, hey, do we have the same goals?
Or else you
I want to build myself. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to have
some time.
You gotta form it out in the beginning, man. But you're gonna attract that person that wants the same as you. And I always say this, guys. Your Instagram, your Facebook, your online presence is your resume. If you want to attract, you got to put it out there. For me, it keeps me in line. I like to show my tasks at hand because my tasks and my recording shows myself how clean, how organized I'm doing it. It throws another thing that I have to do. Instead of just doing it, I'm putting it out there so people are watching it. So it has to be just a little bit better than if I wasn't being watched.
Mhm.
Not to say that I wouldn't do it. I'd still do the burpees. But would I do them is clean? I don't know. Plus or minus 1%. Would I do it as on time, as hard, as energetic? Plus or minus a few percent, maybe. But when I'm recording it and I know that I'm going to show it, it pushes me a little bit more.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a little hack for yourself.
It's a little hack for myself, and it seems to work.
Good.
And plus, I get feedback. I get feedback from other men, from other women that ask questions. You know, some people joke around about stuff and laugh and whatever. And some people are like, you know, this is great. This is motivation, you know, whatever. And whatever it does to generate that motivation. And then I watch them doing it for themselves. I get off more on seeing people get motivated after I do something. Like I see someone that's been following me for a while, and all of a sudden they start posting stuff that's similar to what I'm doing. And it's consistent. And now they're consistent. Now I see their life growing. Now I see them changing their life. Now I see them with their kids. Now I see them growing their business. And I'm like, dude, fuck yeah, bro. That's fucking awesome, man. I'm fucking proud of you. And I will tell them, I see you and I'm proud of you. Do that today, guys.
Let's go.
If you see somebody that is making a mark on their life and they are changing it with steps, with action, and they're showing it, make sure that they see it, because they might be at a turning point to where they're going to go down. They might be at that peak where they're like up too high, and they need that, hey, you got it. I got you. I see you. Keep going. It can't just be me or you. It's got to be the world.
Right on. It's beautiful.
Got anything else, bro?
Let's end it there.
Yeah. Till next time, guys. Get up, get after it, and get some.